Algebra 2, section 2-4, writing linear equations. So this is going to be fairly brief because this should be something that we went over quite a bit in Algebra 1. So we're going to look at two forms of equations. These are linear equations. We're not going to look at this time, standard form, because we looked at that a couple sections ago. This time we are only looking at slope-intercept. And slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And we're also going to look at point-slope form. Where y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So this y1 here and this x1 here, these are the components of a point. And then m is the slope. So now we can use slope-intercept for pretty much anything that you can use point-slope form for. But I'm going to show you both, and you can decide which one you want to use in what case. And so let's do an example. Write in slope-intercept form. So we're going to do a couple examples here. So if I have the slope is 4/3, and then I have a point that is 0, 4, and I'm going to do another example here, but I'm going to write out the example, and then we'll do number 1 and then number 2. Number 2 passes through 0, -6, and -4, 10. Okay, let's do number 1 first. So for this one already lends itself pretty perfectly for this formula up here. This also lends itself quite perfectly for slope-intercept form. But that is what we're doing here, slope-intercept form. Yeah, okay. So now this is x1 and this is y1, so I'm going to label those just so that I have everything in my mind correctly. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And so my slope, I already know that, so y equals 4/3 x. Now I need to know what b is. And there is one way to know that is when x is 0, then I know what my slope, what my y-intercept is. It's going to be 4. When x is 0, whatever my y value is, that's going to be my y-intercept. And so it's 4. There we go, I'm done. Now, if you don't know that, we can find the value a different way. So let's use this point-slope form and see if we can figure it out how to use that, and if we can get to this point. So point-slope form, I've got y minus y1, I've got y1 here, equals the slope times x minus x1. Okay, so I have all the pieces that I need. So y minus y1, which is 4, equals the slope 4/3 times x minus x1, which is 0. Now I'm going to simplify this. So I've got y minus 4 equals x minus 0 is 0. So I've got 4/3 x. Now I need y by itself. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Y equals 4/3 x plus 4. So I just used point slope form to get to slope intercept form. All right, let's look at number 2. So it passes through this. Now I'm going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2, because I need the slope. No matter which of these equations I'm going to use, I need the slope. And so I've got these 2 points, and I learned last time that, or I was reminded last time, that the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, change in y over change in x. So my slope is y2, which is 10, minus -6 over x2, which is -4, minus x1, which is 0. So my slope is 10 minus -6, so 10 plus 6, 16 over -4. So my slope then is -4. There's my slope. Now, I want to write this in slope-intercept form. So y equals my slope, which is -4x, and now I've got to figure out what is this plus b nonsense here. I can look at this point and say, when x is 0, whatever y is, that's my y-intercept. So, -6. There it is. Now, if that isn't the case, if I didn't see that that x is 0 and y is -6, let's use, and I didn't know how to use point slope form. Let's use slope intercept form real quick to find this -6. So y equals, I know my slope is -4, but I don't know what my y-intercept is. So I just say plus b, and now I've got to solve for b. And the way I do that is I just plug in the point that I know. I can plug in this point, or I can plug in this one. Let's plug in this one. It's going to be a little bit harder. So x is -4, and y is 10. So I'm just going to plug those that point in there and solve for b, and then I'll know that my b is -6. So y is 10 equals -4 times -4, which is positive 16, plus b. I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. What I do to one side, I do to the other. 10 minus 16 is -6, which equals b. Boom, -6, -6. All right, let's do a U-try. So I want to know in slope-intercept form the equation of a line that passes through -2, -1, and the slope is -3. So notice you don't have 0 for your x value and then a number for your y value, so it's not so easy to get your slope. You're going to need to use point slope form, or you're going to need to use this method here. So in order to find your y-intercept. Okay, so go ahead and pause and get to work. Welcome back. The first thing I'm going to do is label x1, y1, and I'm going to do this 2 different ways just to show you. So I'm going to do one way that is point slope, and then one way that is the slope intercept. Okay, so point slope is y minus y1, which is -1, equals the slope, which is -3, times x minus x1. So there is my point slope form. Now I just need to go through and do all this math here. So y minus a -1 is y plus 1 equals, this x minus a -2, that's going to end up being x plus 2 as well. So at minus x plus 2. Now I'm going to distribute my negative 3. Y plus 1 equals negative 3x minus 6. Now I need to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Y equals negative 3x minus 7. There I have y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept form. Now let's find the same answer using this other method that I showed you just moments ago. So y equals my slope, which is negative 3x plus b. I don't know what my y-intercept is. So I'm going to plug in my points, negative 1 for y and negative 2 for x. So negative 1 equals negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from each side, and I get negative 7 equals b. So now I know my y-intercept, and so I can plug that back into my original formula. Y equals my slope, which is negative 3, x minus 7. So either way works just fine, and you just decide which one you're more comfortable with and which one you're going to come out with the right answer the best. Okay, let's continue with 2-4. We're going to look at parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines, and if you remember, parallel lines we draw like that, and perpendicular lines we draw like this, like an upside down T kind of. Okay, so parallel lines, these are two lines that go forever in the same direction as one another, but never touch. They have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. They have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So this one might be y equals 2x minus 1, and this one might be y equals 2x minus 5. Notice they have different y-intercept, but the same slope. Okay, perpendicular lines. When they cross one another, they cross each other at a right angle or at 90 degrees. One of these might be y equals 3x plus 2, while the other one might be y equals negative 1/3 x minus 4. Their y-intercept could be the same, because that would be where they cross, right there. So their y-intercept could be the same. They could cross at on the y-axis. But notice this slope. Slopes are opposite reciprocal. So they're negative and they're flipped. So let's do a couple examples, and then we'll be done with 2-4 here. So, couple examples, couple U-tries. So I want a parallel line, a line that is parallel to 2x plus 5, and it's got to go through 1, 2. Okay, I need a line that's parallel, the equation of a line that's parallel to y equals 2x plus 5, and it goes through point 1, 2. I know my slope. Remember, if it's parallel, my slope is this. So it's 2. So y equals 2x plus b. I don't know what b is. Now, I can use point slope formula because I have the slope and I have a point. Here's x1 and y1. I could use point slope formula if I want to right there. I don't feel like it. I'm going to plug in these values and find what b is. I'm going to solve for b. So if 1 is x and 2 is y, then I've got 2 equals 2 times 1, which is 2, plus b, subtract 2 from both sides, b equals 0. And so my slope-intercept form of the line that's parallel to this one that goes through this point is going to be y equals 2x plus 0. Do I need to write plus 0? No, I don't need to write plus 0. That's it. Now, I'll do another example, and then I'm going to give you a U-try, and then we'll be all done. Hopefully the camera battery will last. So I've got the perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 5, and it goes through 1, 2. So I'm going to label my points x1, y1, and I know that my slope is going to be negative 1/2. That's the opposite reciprocal of that, x plus b. I don't know what my y-intercept is, but I'm going to plug in my points x and 2. You could use point slope formula if you wanted to. You know your slope and you have a point, that would be fine. 2 equals negative 1/2 times 1, which is negative 1/2, plus b. I'm going to add 1/2 to both sides. And so I end up with b equals 2 and 1/2. So my equation of my line that is perpendicular to this one is y equals negative 1/2. Remember, that's my new slope, plus 2 and 1/2. Oh, I forgot something. There should be an x right here, right? There we go. Now, here you go. You try. Parallel, find me an equation of a line that's parallel to y equals 1/2 x minus 2, and it goes through 2, 3. Okay, pause, go for it. All right, welcome back. This is x, this is y. Parallel means I have the same slope, so y equals 1/2 x. I don't know what my y-intercept is, so I'm going to take 2, plug that in for x, take y, plug that in for y. 3 equals 1/2 of 2 is 1 plus b. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. b equals 2. So my equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 2. That's it. Woo! Good luck on the homework.